afternoon, ladies and gents. Right, let's talk about my truck and what happened with the engine and stuff. Right, February 5th, I pulled a heavy load, 45,000 pounds, coming out of where did I come out of? Monaco. That was it. I came out of Monaco, came around the back roads along 376, crossed into Ohio. But prior to crossing into Ohio, I noticed that my oil gauge was going weird. I'm thinking, that's not good. So I stopped at the pilot, and the pressure was getting fine. Then she shut down. So I called out a mechanic. Bearing in mind that if I can't say something constructive about somebody, I don't say anything at all. So I will say I called out a mechanic. That's all I'm going to say. What were they called? Alan's Mobile Mechanics, which was a 5-star review on Google. Wouldn't touch him with a barge pole. So with that being said, they came out, they undid my sump, dropped the oil, dropped the sump, and on the Cascadia you got some suction tubes that come down, suck up the oil. At the top place, it had blown a hole out through the side of that, so it wasn't actually picking up anything. And that's when I should have noticed the start. They came out, bearing in mind they supplied the oil. I had to pay for the suction tube. They tried charging me, well, they didn't try, they did. They charged me like $80 for an oil filter, which I pick up for $19 from Schneider. Then they went on, there was 2 of them. Bearing in mind that's all they had to do was take the sump down. They drove off, said they had to go and get the oil and stuff like that. They were gone a few hours. A person turned up with the item that I had purchased, and I said to them, well, where are they? And she said they're out on some other call out. And actually when they did get back, they said, oh no, we were just sorting out some other stuff related to your truck, which is, like I said, I can't say anything constructive about them. But that cost me $2,700. Now I'm adding all this together because this all relates to this engine breakdown. Started her up, everything seemed okay, shut it down that night. Started her up the next morning, and I must have got about 15 miles down the road going towards Cincinnati, again with a loaded trailer of it was Acronol. I could hear something ticking, and then the ticking getting louder and louder and louder and louder, and then I pulled over because I thought, oh, hold on, this is not right, because the noise was getting crazy. Pulled over, and I rang a towing company. I rang 2 towing companies, and actually the one that actually came out, they were good. Oh, flipping it, what was their name? I'll actually put it at the end of the video of what the towing company was. They do actually recommend, because what they did was, I had, like I said, a loaded trailer. They brought out a tow truck and another truck. The other semi truck took the loaded trailer to Schneider's yard in Orbetz, which was about 120 miles away, while the other guy the tow truck took me back to their yard first of all, which was about 20 miles away. Then I had my truck then towed straight back down to Atlanta, to my mechanic. Now that was about 700 miles. Now that bill came to $7,746. And you're probably thinking, you must be crazy. Well, no, because the last time I had a tow charge, I was in Atlanta and I got towed 28 miles. That cost me $1,600. So I'm thinking $7,746 is not bad, considering I had one loaded trailer removed and taken to another destination. My truck was brought down the same day. They just took me all the way down, because I didn't know you don't have to have you know, an ELD for breakdown trucks, because they're classed emergency vehicle for some reason. So that's another story. They took the truck back to my mechanics. that night, which would have been on the February 6th, and that evening, the 7th, my mechanic pulled my truck straight in, and went through some of the stuff and said, no, the engine is just toast. Now I trust my mechanic 110%. So I said, what are the options? And they said, well, it's, you either do this, like you do the new engine and stuff like that. There was some other option. I thought, no, sod it. I said, yeah, let's just go with the new engine. And I said, and while the truck is down, just go through everything else. Now they basically redid everything. It wasn't just the whole engine, it was the engine mounts, wiring harness. Oh, there was a ton of stuff. And again, I think I'll try and put that up in the community page of the 4 pages. There was a ton of stuff they did. And that truck was down for, or this truck was down for 2 weeks. And that bill ended up at being $57,696. So basically, all in, including the call-out charge from those 2 Wallies, that's what I'm going to call them, 2 Wallies, plus the towing company and my mechanic's bill came in at $68,143. Now you're all probably thinking, well, yep, you could have got another truck with that and stuff, things, and all variations. Now, there's an old saying that most people say is, you do you, I'll do me. Now, why did I do it? Well, I'll tell you why I did it, because it still means that between what I paid my mechanic and what I do have to pay over the next 7 weeks, that means everything's paid off again. Then basically I will have a brand new truck, because this thing pulls like a train. I didn't realize how much I had done with that other engine until I've got this one fitted. And now this one is like, it just runs like a dream, this truck now. Saying that, I'm going back to, today is Saturday, Saturday the 10th, 11th, I can't remember what it is, but it's Saturday anyway. I will actually tell you, because I want to be exact about these different things. Right, yes, it's Saturday the 11th, and I'm like about an hour away. I ran out of time. I'm about an hour away from Chicago, and I don't want to mess with the Chicago traffic. I'll do it tomorrow morning. But what I'm doing is I pick up another load out of Illinois tomorrow, and then I get loaded and I take that down to Atlanta. Then my truck's going to go, because what is happening every morning, I'm having to pump the fuel through, because it's not doing it itself. So what it's doing is just like it's filling up with air, so I'm getting fuel starvation. So every time I have to prime it, which is not what I'm supposed to do. So I'm dropping it off to the mechanics. They're going to keep it for the day, then I'm back out on the road again. But like I said, I wanted to do this because this truck now is new, basically, and then hopefully I'll get about another, if I could get another 5 or 6 years. I mean, that last engine lasted me 7 years, so you work out the math. If I could get another 6 or 7 years out of this brand new engine, that means I've got nothing to pay for still. I have no overhead. I've replaced everything on this truck. One box, gearbox, clutch. I put another clutch in when they did this engine, because obviously as the engine was out, and if you saw those previous pictures, boom, there was the clutch there. So I just said, yeah, just change, put a new clutch in, coolant tank. There was a ton of stuff. I'll put some pictures out over time anyway. I'm not out at the moment because it's bloody freezing. But yes, I could have got another truck if I'd wanted to, but then you're inheriting a whole new load of problems. I've had this truck since day one. I bought this brand new, so I know what this truck has done. And it's just a good truck, you know. I mean, yes, I've had to, like I say, fork out on a one box 2 years ago, and the gearbox and stuff like that, but in the big scheme of things, compared to what a new truck would cost me, it don't make any sense to me. And this was a part of what I have to do to get on track with my different plans. I'm on like a 2 worst case scenario 3-year plan, and this will get me there. So that's the bottom line figures. But what I'm trying to say is as well, you know, people think, oh God, you know, that would bust somebody. If you run your business properly, you can do this sort of stuff, you know. Yes, you know, you can, there's a tax write-off and everything else about it, but it's not just that. I'm just saying, if you're financially astute and doing what you need to do in business, you will be fine. I've just proven it, that you can do that. And this, again, this was a lease thing, and I've heard, like I said, remarks about what people think about lease purchase. Well, this lease purchase has always worked for me, and I wouldn't change it, you know. It got me into this truck, and I've done very well from this. So I highly recommend it if you want to get into this. Yep, you know, look at a lease purchase if it works for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, you're not forced to do anything. But like I said, it actually worked for me. So that's about it. Like I said, I will put the copies of the invoices up on the community page once I work out how to do that. I'm not into technology. I hate it, actually. But I will get back into doing videos as well now. Once I've finished this load, finished the next load, truck's gone and got adjusted on the fueling, then I'll start getting back into normal stuff, because I can focus on that now then, because I haven't got to focus on the truck and with the problems it was starting to cause in the last few days before it went bang. And my mechanic did warn me. He said, these Detroits, they don't just break over time, they just go. And yep, she went. But for a truck that done 1.1 million miles, I can't argue about it, you know. She done great. So if I can get another 1.1 million miles, then so much the better. Anyway, with that being said, I think that's me done. Have a great day.